Color is important, but seriously, every film looks great, if not better, in black and white, and the reverse isn't true. That's sort of strange, isn't it? Stick around because we're about to explore the real reason why black and white works. Pure color is painful to watch continuously, as you can see. High saturation is tough to look at too, but not if the colors are black and white. Somehow, we don't mind black, but anything else is going to get old pretty fast. Maybe the answer lies in this one intriguing fact. We can actually strip the gray away from black and white, and the image is still acceptable to our eyes. Why is this acceptable? Before we get into that, a quick shout out to our sponsor Smooth Camera Gear. If you're looking for a reliable, high quality tripod, check out the SCG Steadifast tripod. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee and a 3-year warranty. Click the link in the description and use the promo code on screen for an exclusive discount. Why do we not care so much if grays don't exist? We can look back in history for the reasons. Earliest writings on tablets, newspapers, the earliest photography, even manga comics. Whatever, but it's really a false argument. The earliest known art are cave paintings, and cave paintings are certainly not black and white. Our ancestors picked ochre, which is yellowish brown. Did you know yellow-green is the color our eyes are most sensitive to? That's why lots of critical work is carried out with bright yellow-green clothing. Why the Mind the Gap line is yellow too. Cave paintings also picked red ochre, the color of blood. It's the exact same color for all of us. In ancient times, if you bled, the chances of you dying was pretty high. No, we should look elsewhere for why we can not only tolerate black and white, but even enjoy it without our eyes getting tired. Some people say things like black is evil or white is good. That point of view doesn't compute in most countries. In many cultures, black brings good luck. People in India wear white when mourning. Yin and yang is black and white, both are equal. Look at this black and white portrait from more than 100 years ago. What's evil about the dark? Or what's particularly good about the whites? If Darth Vader is wearing black because he's bad, then what does that make stormtroopers? Angels? I'm not saying it isn't used like that in film. In Psycho, before Marion Crane steals the money, she's wearing white. After the robbery, she's wearing black. Even so, as an audience collectively, we don't think of good or evil when we think about black and white. It's a bit more fundamental than that. What could be more fundamental than the human eye? The human eye is really trichromatic, like camera sensors. We have red, green, and blue cones, and rods that are sort of monochromatic. Extreme night vision really has minimal color, but normal vision has color. Here's a trick. If we remove color wavelengths, which gives us white light, the brightness is at its maximum, and black, or even near black, is at the other end. We cannot perceive a bigger contrast range than between white and black. Let's call this 100% contrast. Contrast sensitivity is our ability to distinguish bright and dim parts in an image. When you go to an eye doctor, they test you using a chart with black letters of decreasing size on a white background. In other words, we don't get tired of this contrast because it's the easiest on the eyes. If you reduce contrast, it gets harder and harder for us to distinguish details, and our visual acuity gets worse. Low contrast black and white films are hard to watch for this very reason. If there are true blacks and true whites, the grays are tolerable. Then it plays a supporting role of introducing three-dimensionality and form to what is essentially a 2D screen. Black and white films allow the viewer to focus more on the composition, shapes, and lines within the frame. Put it another way, geometrical shapes pop out at us. That's the image being easier on the eye and brain. As a psychological state, you could also make the argument that black and white gives images a darker feel that subconsciously reminds us of nighttime. Film noir is literally film black. Nighttime, with its inherent dangers, is often associated with black, while daytime, representing safety and visibility, is associated with white. High contrast lighting and deep shadows create a moody atmospheric effect. We don't show the walls a cheerful pink or the clothes a bright yellow. By stripping away the color, we introduce an element of ambiguity that would escape us otherwise. Maybe this ambiguity makes most moviegoers uncomfortable. Black and white films also tend to have a sort of timeless quality. They age better than color films. I don't know if this next bit is scientifically true, but I've heard it said many times that in black and white, faces are easier for the audience to connect emotionally with. Do you find that to be the case? Is it easier reading expressions and relating to characters in black and white? Let me know in the comments below. One definitive advantage of black and white is, once you strip away the color, your emphasis shifts more to the texture of surfaces. You can practically feel the wallpaper or the wood. I shot this short film last month called Palindrome. We had two actors wearing satin nightclothes and they look fine in color, but they look otherworldly in black and white. I was able to eliminate distracting elements in the location and focus on the textures with black and white. Films like The Lighthouse also use this very well. Alfonso Cuarón's choice of black and white for Roma stripped away the color of the setting and made it purely about the story. It's the exact same reason Spielberg shot Schindler's List in black and white. There was no color or joy in these people's lives, so why should the film have any color? When Spielberg did use color sparingly, its impact was profound. Sin City is a stylized version of this technique, where the emphasis is on the characters and the textures of things, with color pops appearing occasionally. The next major side benefit of filming in black and white is you can use hard light. As you can see in film noir and neo-noir black and white films, the hard shadows create shapes, and these shapes help in composition and directing the eye where you want it to go. You can also leave a lot of the frame in shadow. We don't question it, even though in real life we don't see complete black like that. Our eyes are happy with the choice because it makes it easier to know where to look. The rest just isn't important. The lack of color also gives black and white films a higher level of consistency. You have to work hard in production design, lighting, and costumes to get colors to be in harmony. With black and white, you can stay consistent from shot to shot and scene to scene. You can see how this helped a low-budget classic like The Night of the Living Dead to look a lot more expensive than its budget. What is the main disadvantage of black and white films though? If you look at the box office performance, even adjusted for inflation, there's hardly any black and white film in the top 100. Why do people hate black and white so much? I started this video by saying color is important. It's important because we see the world in color. Stripping it away removes us one order from reality. That's why movies with great color design are so pleasurable to watch. They find the ideal balance between contrast and color in moderation. I don't think the reason black and white films don't work is a complex one. Ask any kid to watch black and white cartoons, it's just impossible. Left to their own devices, they'll pick color most of the time. Maybe most black and white cartoons look old and dated, the sound is different. But I've seen adults develop long faces when you tell them you're gonna watch a black and white movie. Very few people really want to watch black and white films. Tell me your experience. I love films, and I particularly love black and white. When I find someone who doesn't like black and white films, I know they're not seeing movies like I do. I'm not saying it's better or worse. If you're talking statistics, the world has already spoken. They transitioned to color films in the 30s and haven't looked back. The box office receipts of color films are the best endorsement color films can get. Would more people have gone to see Sin City or Schindler's List if it were in color? Possibly, right? Would more people have seen Psycho if it were in color? After all, Hitchcock didn't make Psycho for any emotional or philosophical reason. He just wanted to save money and not show the color of blood. Many moviegoers freaked out at the color of chocolate syrup. Most black and white films are old, and people don't much prefer to watch dated content with stars they don't know. But what about newer black and white films? Are they not watching those because they think these black and white films are more, dare I say, artistic? For the mass audience, artistic equals boring. Mank or Roma certainly could come across as serious cinema. The Artist was a silent movie that's hard for anybody in this day and age to sit through. People have stopped reading and prefer watching YouTube. Why do you think that is? So what we really need is a black and white film that's mainstream, maybe not like Good Night and Good Luck, maybe more like Avengers, but in glorious black and white. Or better yet, let's start with Batman in black and white. Now there's a movie screaming for it. They went from bright colors to night colors to realistic neo-noir to totally dark and lifeless. Black and white is the next logical step for Batman. What can I say, I'm a sucker for black and white. I'll probably offer a black and white version of my feature film when it's released later this year on platforms. It's a lot more work, but I'm curious. I photographed it and my mind first sees in black and white, then color. It would be a rare film that doesn't look better in black and white. They would have to have pulled something special with color. Enough black and white for today. My next video is in color. Go get your color fix.